Hello and welcome to the first Friday podcast of the season. It's me, Peter Crouch, and Notorious SID and Chris Stark. I'm excited for this. The Friday pod's back. I'm a huge fan of doing our predictions, the league table, looking forward to games, looking back at what's gone on. Whereas like on the Wednesday podcast, it feels like we kind of chat kind of a bit more in depth and go in like to various kind of bits of subjects. This is kind of like the what's happening right at the moment, and that's what you get with the Friday pod. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Crouchy, and I know why you're excited because you're 3 points ahead on the table that we have running through this Friday podcast. So in case you're new, I'm not going to explain it every week because I started getting pelters for that in the last season. But just in case you're new to this podcast, welcome along. What we have is a little league table that's running through it every Friday. Me against Crouchy against Sid's. And we pick on 3 games, make predictions for them, and then there's points attached to it. So you get 3 points if you get a correct score in a game. You get 1 point if you call it right, win, lose or draw, and obviously no points if you don't get it right. And Crouchy's off to a flyer. This is why he's buzzing for the Friday podcast to be back, because he's 3 points ahead already. Because we ran this through the Euros as well, and the winner got a 3-point head start, which, looking at the end of last season and the forfeit involved, ended up being a massive, massive thing. If you can get 3 points ahead, Crouchy, I've got to be honest, I'm jealous of you.
And let's be honest, right? The forfeit was horrendous. Chris, obviously, you were a cheerleader at the darts, which is highly embarrassing. Possibly even more embarrassing, Sid, you were obviously naked in an art class.
Yeah, and I just see these forfeits getting worse and worse as well. So I think there's going to be a lot that's going to go into this now. I think we took it for granted that second half of that season, just thinking that there was going to be points flowing left, right and centre, but our predictions was nothing short of shambolic. But I can see already that Chris has put out on socials, he's begging for some help, for some predictions. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, you're right, Sid. But we actually talked about this. I think this is when you were on one of your many holidays. Nice tan, by the way, Sid.
It's looking good, isn't it? I'm all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, when you were off, me and Crouchy were talking about this, and I did make a point, which was you boys are, professional footballers. You have great insight into the game just from, it's your trade. You should be experts, but also because of the TV work that you both do, you get to see all the facts. You've got people giving you stats and all that sort of thing. So I do feel I'm at a slight disadvantage. So I'm making a slight pivot this season. What I'm going to do is every now and then when I need a bit of help with the forfeits, I'm just going to throw it out there and take some advice from people. And I did it. You're right, Steve. And, I do note that you've sort of grasped me up there slightly, but it has been discussed and cleared with Crouchy, so it's all good. Snitch well.
It all counts.
Like he was saying, you're around the games all the time, like myself and usage as well. We will be at the games and kind of, speaking to players and pundits alike. So I do think we probably do have a slight more of an advantage. So yeah, I'm happy with that, Chris. You can crack on with that this year. Another thing I wanted to raise as well, I think we need to have a fantasy league this year. We have our fantasy. I believe it's on our socials. Ross George, the producers there, can obviously lead me. I'm pretty sure it is out there. We'll have a code, and I think the winner of our league will receive a prize. How shit or how good that prize will be, I don't know yet. I'll be honest with you, we haven't discussed that, but we will have a prize for the winner. It will involve them coming to watch us record, having a few beers with us, and potentially some sort of reward. It could be shit. It might be great, but you never know with these things.
It's nice to have an ambition of a good reward. Maybe we can pick some stuff up of players and do it. Let's be honest, we're not going to be that organised. So the prize, as Crouchy said, will very likely be the cop-out prize, which will be just beers with us. But hopefully that will at least be something.
If you've heard recently, lads, I've had a prize before the season started. Recent Chase and Status song. I've got myself in Stormzy's lyrics.
Well, Crouchy, we mentioned this, and we heard sort of rumours that you were in this song, and obviously this song is now everywhere. This is the Chase and Status Stormzy. You ain't got no backbone. Like, How did you find out about this? Did they ask permission? Did it just happen? And then you like, how does this work? The song's everywhere.
Someone texted me and said there's a song coming out at the moment. Like, it's going to be massive, and you're in it. And I was like, oh great. But listen, I'll be honest with you. I love Chasing Status. Huge fan of Chasing Status. Obviously, Stormzy as well. Absolute legend. So I'm really pleased with it, and it's not derogatory. It's not too bad. So it could have been a lot worse.
I think Stormzy on the podcast would be a good shout. By the way.
Oh yes, yeah, that would be superb.
Sounds murky.
It don't suit you if you say it.
Oh well. Do you know? I have to say, John, who obviously, as we know, works on these podcasts. He went down to his what's his little training centre he's got there down.
Yeah,
in,
the Murky FC.
Yeah. You know, he's only got himself a pair of boots. They're like the murky. What are they, like Predators? Maybe.
He's done well.
Yeah, they are beautiful boots. And actually, what Stormzy's done and the people he's worked with on that Murky FC thing is amazing because the centre looks wicked. Obviously, it's going to give so many people access to be able to play football on a quality pitch. And then apparently there's a whole load of esports and everything like that there as well. So we should get, we don't know enough about it that we can talk with complete confidence, but we should get Stormzy on the podcast to come and talk about it. And he's a United fan, isn't he? And ultimately, he's singing about you in his song, so maybe it's a fair swap.
I think so. I would like to have him on. I think it's been close a couple of times.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, we'll write that on the to-do list and see if that happens. It's already mounting up, isn't it? It feels like the podcast back and already we're planning things.
Exactly right. Yeah. No, I feel like we'll just get into a little bit of news. Obviously, Delia Smith has given up her majority ownership at Norwich, which I feel like is quite a sad day.
You just always go back to the that halftime team talk, wasn't it?
Well, where is she? Why is she giving it up?
I think it's weighed heavy over the years, isn't it? I know. Well, listen, I went on loan there for 3 months, and my mum was a massive Delia fan, and she took a book down the first time, got it signed, one of her cookbooks. She's always loved Delia Smith, and she couldn't have been nicer to my mum and to me. Really welcoming.
Yeah, we wish her well with that. And then there's been all sorts of rumours, fair few signings as well. I don't know, at the point of recording this, it feels like you can say something, then it can change very, very quickly. Have you seen what's been going on with Conor Gallagher?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. This is a problem. Like, because you can get round the kind of financial fair play rules by creating a huge profit by selling off, academy products for a lot of money, and I don't agree with it. I don't think, he was one of Chelsea's best players last year, and I don't think they would sell him unless it was like at 100% profit.
Yeah, I mean, talking to a lot of Chelsea fans, it was difficult last season because he was playing out of his skin, and the board must be watching it going, this is great for us because this is going to increase his value because we need to offload some homegrown players. But they're also watching it going, we're going to get absolute pelters if this one goes through. And it's not gone down well. I mean, he's back now. He's not even training with the first team, is he? He's been literally outed training with the 21s, yeah, which is terrible.
Having said that, though, I think he's best off out of it. Chelsea, I don't know what's going on, but some of the signings, and I don't get what they're trying. I think it's like 44.
Yeah,
it's absolute madness. How that's going to be a harmonious squad, I've got no idea. Having said that, I do think the Neto signing's a fantastic sign. I think he's a great player.
Do you not think I've got a funny feeling with Chelsea? These predictions always go well, don't they? But I kind of think Chelsea might be all right this season. Like, I think they challenge a lot more. Do you not think?
I've got them in my top 4.
Yeah, that's what I think.
100%. Like, they've got so much ability in that dressing room. Like, they should do. But I just don't. I feel like there's something
underlying there. Have you seen the Kompany video, Crouchy?
Oh, I have. Yeah, Goodmanson.
Should we quickly talk about this?
Yeah, I played with Goodmanson as well. Like, I don't know. He is a bit of a moaner, maybe. He's a good lad. Like, no, it wasn't trouble, but I mean, it was. He got absolutely fucking empty, didn't he?
Oh, just a bit.
I've personally never experienced a bollocking like the one I've seen Kompany give him. I don't know if you boys have and want to share your memories of it, but my gosh, like I've not seen a long clip of this. I've just seen a clip of Kompany just really going in, and he doesn't let it go. It's almost like he gets his teeth in, has to follow him around the training pitch.
Yeah, for me, it's the tone. You know when you was growing up, or if your dad lost his temper, or if he just raised his voice, or if someone in your network or work, or we've had it, Crouchy, me and you, certainly at different clubs. That tone that Kompany went for, it just was like, he is not happy. He is not entertained. That's what he was.
I've had a load of them, if I'm honest. I have had a few of those kind of been torn a new one. But yeah, I remember my dad giving me a few of those, and so my youth team managers. One of the funniest ones my youth team manager did, I was at school. I was actually in school, and he said to me, because I was coming in just during the school holidays, and I was coming in during the holidays to train with the youth team, and he said, "Do you want a day off tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd like that actually. Yeah, that'd be nice. I can have a day off." Anyway, the day after I'd had my day off, I came in and he goes, "Oh, here he is," in front of everyone. "Here he is, fucking part-timer, like, take your days up." Like, and I was so embarrassed, obviously, playing with the older kids. And he said, "What you doing today off? Did you have your cock in one hand and a cheeseburger in the other?" And all the lads were buzzing.
Do you think it works that? I mean, when you're seeing Kompany losing it there, and one thing that really struck me is watching the players around him, how they react. It was almost as if everyone was just totally ignoring what was happening. Is that feeling that he would have had? It must be a bit embarrassing, It must be embarrassing. You sort of must want it to stop, but Kompany doesn't stop in that situation.
But it sounds to me like, Goodmanson was kind of muttering still a bit, and he was like, "You're still doing it after I've told you once." So then I think that's when he's lost it. So you can see Jack Cork, I think, he's trying to pull him away because it looks like it's getting heated. And bizarrely, Craig Bellamy walks past the shot, the calmest man in the scene, which is obviously, I thought was very bizarre.
Yeah, when someone's really angry when they're shouting at you, and it's hard not to laugh when this happens, right? Especially if you're on the peripherals watching this whole thing play out. But when Kompany's voice just breaks a little bit, it goes shouty, but it's so intense, as you were saying, Sid. It's like it cracks into like a little squeak, a little high voice. Hard not to laugh at that, right? But you just can't.
Yeah, you got to bite your lip at that. I think with them ones there, as players that it's going to be spoke about after. Now, whether that's going to be on an away trip and you're on the bus on the way home, or whether you're in the canteen if it's after training, but as a manager, when you get away from them players, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, what happened there? Where did that come from?"
Yeah, they'll be talking about it 100%. All right, listen, lads, we got some big things. We got some predictions to do. We've got the Friday pod to do. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Just before we get into it, obviously, there's we talked about forfeits. The whole thing that we do here on a Friday revolves around the forfeit. We actually have a video submitted by Sam of a fantasy football forfeit where the losers dressed in bikinis and had to put it on a car wash.
Oh, this is right. So I haven't seen this yet. But what I love, what we're doing with this is, Sid, we want to do something a bit special with this, because you famously said on the podcast that right at the end of the Euros, and we had a podcast running throughout the Euros, that you were not entertained by the entire championships, like the entire Euros. You went through it, and to sum it up, you were not entertained. And it's given this idea that every Friday pod, we're going to see if we can finally entertain you, Sids. If someone out there can do something that will entertain you, because it's a high bar. If the Euros can't entertain you, I'm even doubting, Crouchy, whether anyone can entertain Sids. He's like Shania Twain, that don't impress him much. But we think if we throw it out there and offer people the chance to try and entertain Sids, and it could be a talent. It could be maybe you sing, maybe you make a little song, maybe it's something funny you found online. Eventually we'll find something that entertains him.
I believe this video will entertain him because it entertained me.
Okay, so it's a fella. He's walked out of a door in bikini. Oh God, it's another fella. There's sex kitten. They're in bikinis. Oh, that's a sex kitten tattoo. Oh, it's a sticker. Oh, it's on a hairy ass.
Right, this way in on a hairy ass.
Oh God.
So he's in a pink swimming costume. He's got a bitch tattooed on his arm. He's got Playboy, sex slave, and he is in a bikini and doing a car wash.
Oh, we can't. Okay, that's a thong bikini now. They're doing a car wash on a driveway. There's two? There's two of them. Has he got Crocs on? He's got a bikini and he's got black Crocs on.
Oh,
what we're seeing.
Firing water at him as well while he's washing the car. Who knows?
Oh, his other mate has got socks and sandals on as well. Oh, and he finishes with his chest on the windscreen.
Yeah. Not quite as sexy as I've seen others do it, but an amazing form, quite the same. So yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff that is in store for us, lads. Well,
I guess the question is, Sids, are you entertained?
I mean, it's a good start. It's a good start if we're gonna carry this on, and I can definitely see people jumping on this and sending videos in. I mean, there's some positives in there, but it's not for me. It's not for me.
It's not for me.
It's the Caesar Sid down.
It's down, Crouchy. The thumb's gone down.
Great. Well, listen, we knew it was a high bar. It's very entertaining. If I saw you doing that, I would be doubled up. I think it's very funny, fantastic. As we know, it's a high bar with Sids. Shall we get into the predictions?
Yes. Let's do it.
Right, let's get into it. This part of the podcast is supported by Paddy Power. Their big game of the week is, of course, Chelsea versus Manchester City. It's a cracker, to be fair, to start. City are big favourites here. Chelsea are 3-1, tenner gets you 40 quid back. City are 3-4. Tenner gets you 17 back. So massive favourites, Man City here.
Mm.
Yeah, and I've got to say, just before we kick this off, as I did throw this out, you're right, Sids, on Instagram, and obviously loads of people heard us talking about this before Crouchy and messaging predictions. I've had hundreds, I mean arguably thousands of people getting in touch to try help me out through this. I think to make it fair, I'm just going to have to shout out like maybe 10 a week because we're not going to be able to get through them all. But big shout out to Ben Maskell, Billy, Tracy Lois, Jess, Louis Volley, Charlotte, Jacob Hughes, Adam Wilkin, Matthew Martin, Simon Pilkington, Alex Cullen. I think that's where we'll stop it there, but there's so many people that are trying to help me with these predictions against you. And everyone, pretty much, well, not everyone, pretty much, I'd say 90% of people are saying this is a Man City win.
Yeah. I mean, the stats do back that up. City have won 3 of their last 5 meets in the Premier League. Obviously, it was the epic 4-4 draw, wasn't it? Last time they met at Stamford Bridge. The only thing that throws me with this is it's obviously the first game of the season, so you just never know really where teams are at. Chelsea pre-season defensively have looked awful. And Man City, they've been a bit hit and miss, but they've rested players because the majority have been in the Euros and stuff. So it's a hard one to grasp this, especially early on in the season for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Sids. I've got to be honest. Like, you just don't know what Chelsea you're going to get either as well, I think the Neto sign is a good sign, like I say. He's signed so many players again. And, are they going to keep them all happy? Who's going to start for them? But then, like you said, the flip side of that with Manchester City is he's basically rested anyone who's played in the Euros throughout pre-season. Rodri, for instance, like playing the final there, Foden, they haven't played a lot of games. And, are they going to be rusty? Of course they've been training last week. I just don't think they haven't had that enough of that game time. Really, I'm gonna go straight in on my prediction here, right? And I'm gonna go with I think City win this 3-1.
Oh, I've written that as well.
No way, I've done that as well. I have, seriously.
Boys, what's going on? We can't do this, and it begins.
No. Listen, I'm happy to change, Chris.
No,
like I say.
no. You went first. You
went
should
first.
stay.
Well, what do you want, Sids? Then I'll respect my elders.
No, you go next. I'll change.
I'd like to go 2-1. Is there another score you want to go?
No, you can go 2-1, Chris. You can have that if you want. I'm going to go. This is tough because Nicholas Jackson and Kunku, Madueke, Mudryk, they all need to step up to the plate. Now they have looked okay going forward. I'm going to go 2-0 City. I'm going to go 2-0 City. I'm going to say Chelsea fire a blank at the bridge.
On this game, we're going to do something that we did in the Euros, and that's kind of have a Crouchy boost, and we're each going to pick a sort of little added extra in the game, and then Paddy Power are going to boost it for us. So if you do place a bet on this particular combination of events, you might do all right out of it. We're going to do this, aren't we, Crouchy?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you'll be able to find this on the special section of the Paddy Power website. This is a Paddy Power boost that all three of us are going to do. I'm going to go first, right? What is it? Oh, no way.
Get this on the pod. Get this on the pod.
Let Abby talk through what she just bought
you Crouchy. Bear in mind, these guys are on holiday at the moment. This is serious wifeying.
But to be fair, what I'm going to say, right? Abby's just arrived here, right, in a bikini with a roast dinner. Things could be worse.
Oi, Pete, let Abby talk through the roast dinner, please. Like, so hungry, man.
After Sid came back from the Euros or whatever it was, World Cup.
Euros final,
and Chrissy made Sid's a roast. Pete hasn't shut up about it, so he was like, I'm really craving a roast today. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make my guy a roast.
It looks like Pete is entertained. He's tucking in already. Look, he's not even.
I'm entertained and I'm just watching.
Who do you think is going to commit one or more fouls in the Manchester City Chelsea game?
Oh, I'm going to say Man City. I don't know.
You see which player? Alvarez. Not bad, but he just moves.
Okay. No idea. I'll leave you to football chat because I'm bored now.
All right.
Bye, guys. I love you.
Well done, Habs.
Ab's just got to get on MasterChef. That looks, honestly, mate.
I was hoping that it was all going to go like Nigella. Is it Nigella, the cook, the way she describes a roast?
Almost like an M&S advert, the way she goes, roast potatoes, like gravy poured all over my beef.
It's all over my beef. What a shout. Fucking hell. Thank God she's gone.
Mate, what a flex. I don't think I've ever had a roast dinner in a sort of sunny climate like you're doing right now. You're living the dream. Just look at what just happened. Abs turned up in a bikini delivering you a roast dinner whilst you record your podcast. I mean, this is just like it's just unbelievable.
We're just living in the Peter Crouch world, aren't we? It's outrageous,
mate.
And that's in the middle of our predictions as well. So what are you going to go for, Pete?
Right. So Abby thinks Alvarez, but obviously that he might struggle because he's moved on. So I'm going to go player to commit one or more fouls. I think Rodri will commit at least one foul.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go player to have one or more shots on target. Depends how sort of obvious we want to go here. Oh, go on. No, let's keep everyone in the game. I'm going to go Haaland on this one.
Yeah, obvious. I like that. I'm going to go for this one. The player to be booked, I'm going to go for Kovacic because previous club as well. And he's got that about him. So, player to be booked, all right. Kovacic.
Well, yeah, if you do go for those three, it's the podcast Paddy Boost. Odds are correct at time of recording. Please gamble responsibly. Okay, moving on. This is a game I will be at. I'm actually really looking forward to this game. Ipswich versus Liverpool. It's that new kind of promoted side bounce. Portman Road's going to be jumping. I think I'm actually interviewing Ed Sheeran before the game, so I look forward to that. Yeah, he's going to the game. Obviously, Liverpool, new manager, Arnie Slot. Loved what they're doing pre-season. I think this is going to be a belter again.
Mm. Yeah, and then you've got this promotion bounce, haven't you? How much should we read into this then? How much of this kind of underdog first game of the season mentality, the cameras are all on, underdog vibes, like how much can we read into it? Because it really is a thing, isn't it? It's tangible. It's a tricky game, this, for Liverpool.
This is huge. This is tricky. Pete, I don't know how many times if you've done it where you've played the team that's got promoted first at their stadium on the opening day, and it's tough. It really is tough. I've done it a couple of times, and I think it was on the last pod, was it, Crouchy, that you said that you think that all three teams are going to go down, whereas I think Ipswich are going to ride this wave. I really do. I think they're going to be a surprise package this season for me. The atmosphere down there is going to be electric, absolutely bouncing Portman Road.
Yeah, I have to say as well, like, double promotions, right, in the last 2 seasons. That's unbelievable. They are so confident. Obviously, I think it was only managed to sit in Stockport County in all in all the English leagues, scored more goals than Ipswich in all 4 tiers of the English league. So they're scoring goals, they're entertaining. I just worry that sometimes when you are on a bounce like that, I feel like the Premier League can bite you on the arse, and I feel like, yeah, they've scored goals, they've entertained, they've been brilliant, and then sometimes there can be a little bit of naivety. Do they continue to play that way, or do they know that they're playing top quality opposition like Liverpool and try and do things that they're maybe not used to doing defensively? When they've been so attacking in recent years.
Yeah, do you mean that in terms of sort of the marathon of the season and the consistency throughout the season, or do you mean just for this opening game alone, which in some ways feels almost like an FA Cup match, which is very incredibly patronising, obviously, because they deserve to be in the Premier League and they've earned their place there. However, the excitement around it and the build up to it, especially I guess being an opening game of the season, it does feel like it features differently.
Yeah, and there's a great stat here, of Ipswich being unbeaten in their opening league match of the season in each of the last 10 seasons, winning 6 and drawing 4.
Wow, that's
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, look, we focus a lot there on Ipswich. What are we saying about Liverpool this season? Because I've said that I've predicted that they're not going to get top 4. I mean, there's a possibility that you've got, is it Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent all coming to the last year of their contract as well. Could not be there next season, I think.
Yeah, that's worrying. But and obviously not really, not making any signings. Is obviously, I suppose, slightly disappointing. But I've seen them pre-season, and mate, they look great. They look good. It looks exciting. I do think you do need to make signings kind of every year these days. I do think it helps with the dressing room. It helps with the standard. It helps with just to freshen things up. I do think it definitely helps. But having said that, I think they've got certain players will be back kind of from injury. They were quite injury hit last year to some key players. I think Diaz looks good. They're playing the right way. They're obviously it's a possession based game, but it feels they're not doing it for just to play for playing sake, if you know what I mean. Sometimes I feel like you play around the back and don't have any kind of cutting edge at times when you play that way, but they're happy if someone comes to press them that they drop it over the press and play kind of from there as well. It is exciting. I think Diaz is going to be, I feel like he is, this season will be a big season for him. I think he'll add more goals to his game. Salah, of course, as well, and Jota. I think it's, I can't see anything other than Liverpool here, if I'm honest.
Should we get on to predictions then?
Go on, Chris, you go first.
Right, so I guess everything about this game makes me want to go Ipswich, and I just think but this is the mistake I've made when there's points attached to this and vicious forfeits on this podcast. I just don't want to set out on this whole, I'm going with my heart over my head. So I've gone sensible. And I am going to kick myself because really deep down, I actually think Ipswich are going to do this. But I have to go boring and I have to go almost missionary on this just to start. And then when I've caught up a few more points, at least then I can flex a little bit and do what I want to do. This isn't what I want to do, any Ipswich fan listening, but I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Ipswich 0.
Yeah, I feel like you do go a bit romantic at times, Chris, you know?
Especially when I've had a Guinness, you know?
And you like a reverse cow every now and then, you know? When
I just like, occasionally it is just nice to switch it up.
Right, well, I'm going to put the blindfold on. I'm going to go a bit kinky, and I'm going to go. I think Ipswich can pull some magic out the out the sheets. I don't think they're going to get a win, but I think they're going to get a draw. So I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Wow. So this is the way I think the game's going to go, and I'll be honest with you, I'm there, right? So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it is a great game. But I think Ipswich score early, and I think the place will be bouncing, and then Liverpool just wear them down and get the job done. I think they win 2-1.
Hot 2-1 there for amazing. Either way, I'm excited. I'm aroused. I can tell you boys are too.
Highly aroused.
This is the horniest pod we've done.
I started getting a bit fruity when that brought me the roast dinner and a bikini.
It really changed the podcast. It was a welcome break halfway through, wasn't it? I couldn't believe the scenes. Couldn't believe what was going on there, Crouchy. I was like, what am I witnessing?
Let's all calm down and get back to our day job. It's West Ham versus Aston Villa.
Yeah, what's this? This is the evening kickoff, isn't it? On Saturday, 5:30. West Ham at home. New manager, Lopetegui. They've added a few, haven't they? Wan-Bissaka's gone there now.
Signings, I think.
Jared Bowen. They spent some dough, haven't they? I think they spent about 140, 150 million in West Ham. Jared Bowen's now captain. Villa, they've got top four. They got Champions League. This is a tough one to call. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on this. Have we got any stats on this? Have you seen any
This is one that really stood out to me. Ollie Watkins is Aston Villa's highest ever Premier League goal scorer, but in games played in London.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know what? I'll tell you a mad stat as well. Look at on this stat. West Ham's opening 10 games are all in London.
Are they?
Yeah. Whether they're at home or away to a London club. How mad's that?
That is a mad one.
How do you think those two players respectively come out of this summer? I mean, Ollie Watkins, I don't know if this is the right way to call it, but it feels like how he was received at the Euros, how he played, the impact of that goal. I do think that still echoes from that tournament, where a lot of it feels quite far in the past. I think this could be a refreshed Ollie Watkins, and he was already dangerous, but do you think this does sort of kick him up another gear? And I guess similarly, what do you think about Jared Bowen and the fact that he didn't really get the chance to be involved? Does that fire him up in a different way, make him almost sort of aggressively into his role as it stands?
I think the fans just love Jared Bowen, don't they? And I think the fact that he's the captain now, he's one of those, if he ends up staying at West Ham his whole career, I think he's kind of like almost Mark Noble territory. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he could become a club legend. He is such a good player, and I think the fans love him. He's kind of integrated into the kind of how West Ham are and how they like to be. He's such a talented player as well, and I think he will, want this season, like you say, he didn't kind of get his chance at the Euros, whereas Ollie Watkins, I suppose, he got his moment, and that moment will live with him forever. And what a special goal that was. And I do think that will give him added confidence. Not that he needed anymore. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic last year, as was Jared Bowen. So, like you say, you picked out two belting players there, and two probably the most important players in this game.
Yeah, I think with Jared Bowen, I think he's just got that character that he's just going to step up to the plate and enjoy being a captain, lead by example. And like you said, Crouchy, the fans love him already. And I think, yeah, if he stays there for a long time, he'll go down as one of the greats there. I'm going to go straight in with a prediction. I'm going to go. I'm doing this game on Saturday. Actually, I'm doing the commentary. I'm going to go for Villa. I'm going to go for a Villa win on this, and I'm going to say 2-1 Aston Villa.
That's what I've got. Sid's as well. It's another one. I don't know. In my head, I'm balancing up a sort of. I flirted with the idea of a 1-1, but I did sort of lean more towards Villa. So the 2-1 felt like it compensated that. But you know what? I'll go 1-1 in this one.
Right, okay. That's similar to what I was going to do. I think there'll be goals in this. I think that stat of Villa being winless in the last 9 Premier League games at West Ham makes it a draw for me. So I'm going to go 2-2. I think there'll be goals in it. I think there's two teams that are, decent going forward. West Ham have made some new signings. Obviously, I saw the stat about Somerville as well. Obviously, he was involved with 28 Championship goals last season with Leeds.
Yeah.
99 assists. He looks like a player. Someone who added a bit more creativity for them and goals. So, I think goals in this, but a draw 2-2.
Good shout.
Right, well, there's good luck, gentlemen, this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, League going as well. We'll have to get our teams in. Try not to forget, because I usually do. I'm going to try. I might actually do it now while I'm having my roast dinner. And before we go, there's a few shirts. I took a picture of a shirt someone sent to me. It's Days Sober. I don't know if you can see that, lads.
Oh.
And the number 0 on his boat. What do you make of that?
He's spot on. That will never grow old. That will never get old, that shirt. He could wear that in 50 years' time, that fella.
I'm partial to a beer, but I'm not sure I'll wear a shirt like
that. No. Have you seen the other shirt with our favourite number 69, and the name Master Beano on top? I don't know if we can see that one there.
69. Unbelievable. Yeah.
You think most clubs would sort of ban the number 69 on the shirt printing? You think it would be just something that's on the wall there? It's like all numbers printed except 69. It's the only real number that would be any concern.
One other thing, like there's a lovely shirt here. This is amazing. I don't know if this has come from the podcast or what, but Abby used to call Manuel Adebayor. She thought his name was Andy Bayor. So there's a Tottenham fan here with Andy Bayor on his back. Which obviously Abby thinks that he's Mr. Bayor. It's Andy Bayor.
Andy Bayor.
And someone's got it on the back of the shirt. So yeah, good luck. But let me see if you see any shirts out there. We always enjoy seeing them. That's been the Friday pod. Plenty more to come throughout the season. There'll be plenty of twists and turns. Lots of fun and games, and send in anything you see out there on your travels. Pleasure speaking, lads. See you next week, eh?
Yeah, nice one, mate. Yeah, if you want to send anything into the podcast, peter.crouch@acast.com if you want to do that, or feel free to slide into the DMs. And we'll do this again next Friday. Good luck this weekend, boys.